and thank you for joining us on the midweek edition of Journalist Hangouts. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, INEC says it declared election in Bayelsa, not war, as court reserves judgment in Lokbobiri's suits challenging Leon's candidacy. Group says past sector heading for collapse under new minister Saleh Maman. And later on the show, Netherlands dump Golden Eaglets out of the 2019 Under-17 World Cup after 3-1 troubling. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Dari Odufaokon, and Musbah Razak is also in the studio. So will join us later for the sports segment. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. It was the Chinese statesman Mao Zedong who described politics as war without bloodshed, while war is politics with bloodshed. For the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the November 16 governorship election in Bayelsa State may just be an electoral contest. But for the politicians, it appears it goes beyond that, following reports of violent clashes between supporters of the leading political parties in the states. INEC is calling for caution. The electoral body says it has not declared war, but an election for the people to elect a new governor. Meanwhile, a federal high court sitting in Yenagoa has fixed 14th of November for the judgment in a suit filed by Senator Henekin Lokbobiri challenging the emergence of David Leon as the governorship candidate for the All Progressive Congress in the states. Jidewa will a court fix 2 days before the election to hear a particular suit, because the election is 16th. 16th is Saturday. Thursday is 14th. So if the court is now saying, let's say, we are not preempting the court, but it's saying otherwise. So this other candidate will have 48 hours, or what are we talking about here, to actually campaign?
No, they've been campaigning. I think there is precedence, because I remember during the legal contest between Obasanjo and Atiku, this was the same thing that happened. It was at the last minute that Atiku got judgment, permitting him to take part.
Obasanjo Yaradua.
Huh?
Was it?
Obasanjo did not want Atiku to succeed him.
Yes.
Now, Obasanjo and Atiku sparred legally up to 12 times.
Yes.
You are going to court. Afebawala was Obasanjo's lawyer. And Obasanjo was being routinely trounced by Atiku's lawyers. But he continued. He just desperately didn't want Atiku to succeed.
To be on the ballot.
He didn't want him to be on the ballot and to be on the safe side. I mean,
against
because he didn't want him to succeed. So, because his goal was, you will not succeed me. But in the end, Atiku got a last-minute last-minute judgment, and he had to contest that election. So, INEC always has these exigencies to prepare in case this judgment favors us. In case it does not favor us, they are always ready.
I think that's why they stopped putting the pictures of the candidates.
Even
now,
now,
political party.
Even now, well, the Supreme Court has also affirmed that it is the party that.
Yes, so the party is everything now.
Now, so even now, with the kind of ballot papers that you have, as long as Kara Bridge, there is no way you can find space to put anybody's picture. Whereas in the past, someone could go to court because he didn't see his picture.
Yes.
But see, the longer than one's harm, what we now have as ballot papers, where are you going to insert the picture? So, the truth is, both parties are ready. Leon has been campaigning all over the place, and he's been running a good campaign. He has a very strong man behind him, and he's ready. But if the election will take place today, I can say that Leon will be prepared. And if the judgment goes against him, my suspicion, if he does not get judgment, I don't think APC will be on the ballot.
Can INEC remove APC logo?
No, it's not.
48 hours?
It's not INEC. It is the court that can say that. Because look, if from within the party, there were at least 5 different court cases against the primaries that produced Leon. They are saying there was no primaries. Lokpobri was Silva's Director General of Campaign when Silva contested. But like Aganaba and other people, many of them who supported Silva back then when he contested on the platform of APC have all left him because of what transpired during the primaries. When political parties are unable to organize primaries that are transparent, it will weaken them ahead of the election. And this is what will likely happen in Bayelsa State, because with Lokpobri and many other big shots, like Nestor Binabo, all of them, refusing to work for David Leon, then they will be playing to the hands of the enemy. And in any case, if the judgment, because what they are trying to show is that, look, this primaries was a sham. If the courts say, well, from the evidence presented before us, there was indeed no transparent primaries, then the APC will be in trouble. They could end up not producing a candidate.
Because they won't have enough time to now conduct.
You can't conduct. Even the window to conduct a fresh one that will be transparent is gone. So you will have lost your opportunity. So they must now be doing all-night prayers and ensure that the judgment doesn't go against the party.
Dari, in this scenario now, INEC is saying what we want to conduct is an election. And I want to look at, especially this is the heart of the Niger Delta. And if you are familiar with Bayelsa State very well, you know that 80% of Bayelsa State, you is a riverine area, and you have a lot of this militants, and they have a lot of, yes.
Well, INEC is just on spot. If there is a need to warn anybody or any state against a violent election, I think it is Bayelsa, especially now. In the last election that held in the state was in 2015. And at that time, most observers did say that was the first time Bayelsa will actually be witnessing a real election. Before then, Bayelsa was almost a one-party arrangement. But Timipre Silva came out, disagreed with the system, decided to test his own popularity, and it was not a pushover.
It wasn't given. It was the governor, and it wasn't given.
It was not returned.
Returned.
That was the election, the first election that brought in
Dixon.
2011. And he came out, and you will agree that though he lost that election, it was not a pushover. And since then, the politics in Bayelsa changed. Now we have a situation where look at you cannot even predict where the violence will come from. This is how it is. In PDP itself, there are more than 5 court cases against the emergence of its gubernatorial candidate. A sitting governor is backing the candidate, yet many of the ruling party's chieftains are against the candidacy and they are in court. We still have at least 2 major frontrunners in Dixon's political family who are today opposed to the candidacy of Diri. Then you come to APC, the opposition party that was before now giving the hope of confronting Dixon and his army united. They are divided. Lokpobiri is not a pushover in Bayelsa politics, whatever the standard we want to use. And he's really, really embittered now because he was a minister in the last dispensation. He was eyeing the governorship ticket.
That's why he stepped down.
That was why he stepped. He did not finish his term as a minister.
Oh.
He resigned to go into the primaries.
Oh.
And at that time, his relationship with Sylvia was so cordial, at least so we thought, that everybody felt, look, it's just a win-win situation for both of them. One will take the ministerial ticket, the other will take the governorship ticket. That it was expected that was what happened. So when Sylvia emerged as the ministerial nominee, nearly all of us gave it to Lokobiri to emerge as the gubernatorial candidate without troubles.
Because just from the blues,
but from the blues came a Leon. But all of us know the fact that Leon did not just emerge. Without Sylvia's backing, Leon cannot win the ticket in Bayelsa. That brought about a big break in that political family. The relationship between it, and when you talk of APC in Bayelsa, you are talking about Sylvia first and Lokobiri a very close second. So if these two people are not disagreeing,
Sylvia has been a member of the Action Congress of Nigeria
all along
before they even formed.
One of the first set of big wigs he got was INEC Lokobiri, who was then in PDP, and he staked all to join him in that election. Now you have these two people disagreeing. You have major PDP chieftains disagreeing with Dixon over Diri too. So it is a potentially violence is possible. And I want to appreciate INEC, and not just INEC. Today, security outfits in the state also came out to say, look, this is not a war. For them to be saying this, the DSS particularly issued a very stern warning today. It means they must be seeing something we are not seeing. And
no, they are already attacking one.
And then we saw how the
campaigns their
went.
rallies. They have been attacking
at rallies, even within the same party. And at a PDP rally, where APC members were not present, fights broke out. At APC rallies, so this is the signals are not good.
And the typical nature, the topography of
the state
will make it more difficult
then
for security operatives.
The issue of
most of the time, the police just look away. The police force that their own senior officer can be seized by political thugs, and was being taken away to where they would be heading. Where they would be heading, they were taken him to where they would be heading. You know, before Providence saved him. That is what happens. That's the ugliness that we see in Bayelsa. Bayelsa, Dixon is the first opposition politician to win the governorship in the history of Bayelsa. They had always been in the ruling party. That was the first time they will experience opposition in December 2015. And it was the first governor to defeat, the first governorship candidate to defeat the APC after Buhari took over. Anywhere in the country was the first to defeat an APC candidate under the leadership of President Buhari. So he's ready for it. The other man too, Silva, is also seasoned in this game. And the Leon that he has brought, everyone knows Leon, where he came from. You know? Everyone knows him. And he has hefty pockets. Because of the nature of contracts that he has done, pipeline contracts and all that he has done. So this is a potentially combustible election, whether we like it or not. And INEC has been warning. INEC has been saying, look, we can see evidence that armies are being formed by political parties. But it's not only in Bayelsa. Kogi too. We are not hearing good news about Kogi. Is today fight, tomorrow fight. Today people are shooting. How can somebody go to campaign somewhere and some boys were firing into the air? Say, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? It's not war, for God's sake.
You have that on social media.
And you are shooting it. What do they think they were doing? They are just stupid. Shooting into the air. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they?
Something that is
that means they are bloodthirsty.
They are looking for celebration of ideas.
Discourse.
No, you see, as we always say, election should be like a carnival, fun fair. Look at what those rich people in Lekki did the other day when they conducted the election. Yes. They got canopy, they paid, put canopy, and so those who brought wine, brought wine. Those who brought fried meat, brought fried meat. They sat down. At the end of the day, the election was conducted. the winner emerged, and nobody threw a punch.
Simplified it.
But it's the poor people, the Lazarus stratum of society. They are the ones who kill themselves in the name of politics. Where Oshibajo voted the other day.
Victoria Garden City.
They defeated him, and they didn't fight each other. At the end of the day, it was just fist pumping and back slapping. Nobody slapped anybody. I said they were drinking wine. Yes. They saw it as a party, as an opportunity to enjoy themselves. It is the poor people who don't think. They are the ones who will be killing themselves. When they kill themselves, you see their corpses lying on the floor. Meanwhile, the rich man who engaged them to waste each other's lives is in his home, enjoying. I wonder when our people will think and stop killing themselves over politics. Because Nigerian politicians, you are wasting your life because of Nigerian politicians.
And they are all best of friends. They are mostly best
of friends. Are you okay at all?
Apart from even being friends, you discover that they never fight over positions. It is always give and take. Now you are there today. The very next morning,
you will see the them
opponent is in his house.
Honestly,
you know what I was telling someone? I said, see, Adeyeye was defeated in court today by Olujimi. Olujimi stepped down for
Adeyeye, the primaries on the PDP. As a sign of solidarity to make sure that he might be able to defeat Professor
Olusola
Eleka. Now those some people, they are enemies in our own eyes.
No, yes, and tomorrow they may be exchanging kisses.
He will remember that woman won't step down for him. So he will feel very free to approach her and now that you want.
The same thing happened in Osun State. When Aregbesola was contesting the election in Osun State, it was like war.
Against Oyinlola.
Oyinlola and Aregbesola. It was war because Oyinlola declared somewhat kind of law. Yes. But later when I went for a campaign there and I had Aregbesola say, Egbomi, I was like,
you know what in Oyinlola was shown and with Tinubu hugging each other.
Yes.
So my boss, Mr. Ogunloye said, Jide, come and see. You see why it makes no sense to kill each other over this war. He said, see Tinubu and hugging. Yes. Did you ever think this can happen? You know, because the day Oroki Day, Aregbesola was almost killed.
Yes. His life
and some of his supporters were killed.
I remember that day.
And then after all that, they became friends and political allies for a while. Then after a while, they were on different
and there's no guarantee that they can't
come back tomorrow.
So let's move on, gentlemen. Let's move on. All right. Power supply is unarguably Nigeria's biggest developmental challenge. But the sad thing about this is that there is no respite in sight. The Nigerian Business Leaders Forum has warned that the power sector may collapse totally under the new Minister of State, Saleh Mohammed. In a statement, the national coordinator of the forum, Austin Igwe, blamed the looming collapse in the sector on lack of proper coordination of the federal government and key players by the minister. The group laments that while electricity generated in the country is presently below 2,500 megawatts, the figure would drop drastically by over 800 megawatts if drastic steps are not taken. Babajide, somebody asked me when they did the ministerial list and had their listing, the person was now saying, what we asked you guys, what we asked from Buhari was not to remove Babatunde Raji Fashola as the minister of power. That what they wanted was that to just unbundle that sector he was in and he should just leave one of the ministries. But now we have a new man. He's from Taraba State, and we know that we have his own roadmap or follow whatever has been laid down on ground. And I don't know, maybe because I'm talking because I'm from Lagos here, but I think for now, it's not doing so badly when it comes to power supply. I don't know what the feedback is around the country, but it would be wrong to generalize from Lagos' point of view. I don't know, what you are experiencing in your own area, but where I stay, I think semblance of sanity that we've experienced. So what's up with this?
You see, the
stakeholders?
I'm happy for one thing. The President Buhari is not someone who takes decisions without any form of contemplation. He does not take decisions rashly. What these people are saying, I read what they were saying and I was terribly disappointed in them. They are trying to create the impression that a minister who took over just a few months back, that so many things are happening now that suggest that he will be a failure.
It's up to 6 months.
When did we even have the last election? And Buhari didn't bring ministers long after the election.
It took 3 months.
So now the thing is, these things that they talked about, all the issues that they raised,
it's not the creation of...
At all, when Fashola was there, we had these same situations. We had many system failures. We discussed system failures here. Whereby the whole day we will not have whereby we will have blackout across the country, even if it's for a few seconds or that's what is called system failure. You are saying that we are now generating 2,500. There were many occasions, even under Fashola, when we generated lower than that. You see, the problem is all the gas-fired plants that we have, the 24 of them.
They're up to 24?
Yes. The 24, we have 24 plants. They all produce at less the installed capacity. Why? Because of gas constraints. I'm talking about the gas-fired plants now.
Power plants.
Yes. The gas-fired plants. Egbin is the biggest thermal station in the whole of West Africa. Egbin has never functioned at installed capacity because most times there will be gas.
The idea of this installed capacity?
Yes, Egbin can give you more than 2,000 megawatts. Because after it was expanded, it could give you like 2,200 megawatts. But we are not getting that. Papalanto, we are not getting enough. Omotosho, we are not getting enough because of gas constraints.
There you go.
Yes. So it's a big problem. The problem is there. And it's not what you can expect a minister to just come and solve. If it was that easy, Fashola would have solved the problem before now. The new minister would not even inherit it in the first place. We have issues with all the three legs of the power sector: transmission, distribution, and generation. They all have individual problems that ensure that we are unable to achieve our aim. We copied this power roadmap from New Delhi in India, but we have refused to implement it the way it's been implemented. Because when in New Delhi they achieve appropriate pricing. Today in Nigeria, someone is buying a product for 88 naira and you expect him to sell it at 33. So if they cannot make profits, then all kinds of things will happen. They will try to cut corners.
So it's too low, what we are paying.
What we are paying, no, of course that is a major problem, because government should not get involved in the pricing of electricity, for example. It should have been left, for... The
way it's delved into the petroleum subsidy is still what we are still getting.
Government is still determining what those people, what they charge the consumer. And what right now, they are not making money. The distributors, the discos are not making money. That's why they have all kinds of problems. Well, the point that I'm making is, a minister has just come. In fact, in my view, this minister will probably achieve more than those before him, because he is listening. He's a listening minister. He's been going around. He's gone to some of the hydro plants. Even with the hydro plants, we have all kinds of issues. The water level, not at the level that will give us the level of electricity that we want. And he's going around all of those places. He's an engineer. He has to first go around, familiarize himself with the problems on ground. And they are saying now that, he's spending so much time going around. This same minister has shown that he wants to do something about Mambila. Because when I visited the governor of Taraba, he said, I will go and meet him. He's from my state. This Mambila, we must start it during our time. And he went and met the minister. Today, there is a memorandum of understanding between that state and the federal government. They are now planning to kick off the thing officially. All these years, we didn't do anything at Mambila, and we will be putting it in the budget.
Because it's here Mambila. Mambila.
Yes, this is the first time under this minister that something is about to be done. The power sector needs a whole reinventing, and it is not, because we are saying, oh, like they were talking about our transmission lines, that they are weak, distribution lines weak. Is it Saleh Maman that created the situation? Even Fashola inherited it.
It's just too early to judge any minister.
It's just, you see, that's why you question what really is the intention. There is a power cabal that is desperate to seize the sector. And they've seen signs that this man appears to be someone who will not allow them to achieve their aim. That's why these social shenanigans have begun. Because it's absolutely unfair for someone who is just still trying to settle down, now. You know, still moving around, trying to understand what the situation is.
A year.
What is a year?
6 months.
Not 6 months. Barely 3 months.
Dari.
Well, I would just want to almost agree with everything the maestro has said. And let me probably add that, like, yes, it's too early to judge this minister or any minister at that. But I want to say that I have been won over by Minister Saleh because he has shown interest in addressing what, to me and to most average Nigerian, is the most compulsory issue in that sector, and that is pricing, the billing. More than once or twice he has said he will look into what Nigerians are paying for electricity. And that's where the only area I disagree, when the maestro said what we are paying is too small. I want to disagree. Rather, I would say...
The question to ask is, from gas suppliers to this...
Exactly.
What do
Maybe
they...
what the distributors are paying...
You know what the Indians did? The Indians now went and subsidized gas. If you subsidize gas, the cost of generation will go down. You see, I was going there. When it goes there, then we can now...
What I would rather say...
We have not subsidized.
That's why I said what the Indians did, we have failed to do.
Because if you look at the roadmap... Because
they know that people could not pay.
If you look at the roadmap we are using here, it is copied. Like I said before, we know how to copy well, but to paste appropriately is our problem. If you think what Nigerians are paying is low, it is because what the distribution companies are paying to the generating company is massive. So what we need to attack, and that is what the minister said, what are we spending on generating power? If we can find a way of bringing it down,
gas supply,
and it is about gas.
Many of them can't even pay their gas.
And then if you look at what
gas suppliers, they can't
what
pay.
We have
ironically,
now,
Nigeria is said to be the 6th highest
of gas,
and we are clearing it.
All we do is waste it. The issue here is we just need to understand the fact that this guy being new. If you ask me in my area, I'll say we have more steady power supply. Yes, we are paying more than before, but we are seeing the product. And when they bring your bill now, you look at what you consume, and if you look at the consumption, you will agree that yes, I consume this, but what am I asked to pay? Should I pay this much? It means the guy is bringing about the...
You know what the discourse
the best technology is that we preach.
You know what the discourse are doing.
And if you look at the minister, is determined to also ensure that we get prepaid meters. So why is it that suddenly some people are unhappy with it?
That's Nigeria.
I want to agree that there is a plot to ensure that...
There is more that means the...
I mean, if he says give them prepaid, and he's putting machineries in motion to ensure that we all get prepaid meters,
so that it can have fairness.
How can anybody say he's not moving yet? He said he's moving around. I think he should understand the problems.
Why shouldn't he even move in? They admitted that
an
he said
engineer,
he's still studying the situation.
And he's not a medical doctor. He understands that when there is a problem, we must provide solutions. And how do you get solutions without understanding the problem? We have a budget now. his ministry made inputs. So we expect to see
Babajide, what's our message to this Nigerian Business Leaders Forum?
No, that they cannot, they are not going to succeed with this needless scaremongering, giving us the feeling that this person, that they are even suggesting that the president...
My producer just told me we have commercial break. Let's just quickly go for this break. We'll come back after this time. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you live from Television Continental here in Lagos, Nigeria. Babajide, we're talking about the crisis in the power sector. And since I was born, it has been there. And I don't have...
And now you're getting old.
Yes, I don't have...
It was a lot better at the time you were born.
My parents will be talking about NEPA. I don't have any guarantee that in my generation that this problem can be solved.
No, the problem can be solved. Some moves have been made that will probably lead to a solution. At least now they brought Siemens in. Siemens can actually help us, and Siemens has been talking to stakeholders across that sector, including even the discos. The truth is, what stops us from looking at alternative sources of electricity generation? I thought that even these people will be suggesting it to the minister, that we should not depend so much on thermal stations. Out of 24 power plants, 21 of them are thermal stations. The remaining thermal gas-fired. Yes. The remaining 3 are hydro.
So we don't do much of hydro again?
No. Hydro is no longer the mainstay of our electricity generation. Obasanjo, all the 10 power plants that I built were gas-fired. So we've now come to a situation in which we rely so much on gas. If anybody breaches the gas line, from the Niger Delta coming to this area to feed Egbe, Egbe will not be able to produce. So this is the thing.
Be able to.
So that's why you must not rely on a source of electricity. Brazil relies heavily on hydro. South Africa, that generates more than 40,000 megawatts, they rely on coal. What has happened to wind? Or is it that breeze no longer blows around our coastal areas? What happened to solar? The hottest point in Nigeria is the boundary between Kano and Jigawa. What stops us from flooding that area with solar panels and the rest?
This is the hottest place in Nigeria.
Yes, the boundary
between
Kano and Jigawa State.
Very hot.
Yes, that's they determined that is the hottest part. Of course, even in Jomari area, the whole of Bauchi is extremely hot. We can also generate solar power from that area too, beyond that boundary that I'm talking about. Why are we not looking in that direction? What is wrong with us? So people will now come and say a person who is just trying to settle down has already failed. No, this is really unfair. That means they are just looking for an opportunity. Yes, so looking for an opportunity to get the president to push him out. Maybe they already have their own people in mind.
Meanwhile, the president
is not that kind of person.
You wait for 4 years. We were waiting for him to change his minister during the first time. Even the one that died, the president did not change him.
Even those ones we all agree didn't perform. He didn't change them.
No, he didn't change them.
So I think they should allow the Minister of State. Minister of Power to, implement what he has in
his agenda.
If a man is in an office and he's moving around the concerned sectors in that office, I think we should give it to him that he's up to something. You cannot determine the color of a chick before the egg is hatched.
You have to see it.
You must allow it to come out. Now, this is common with us in Nigeria, and this is why people talk about cabals. This is a sector that is crucial to all of us. That is,
and they've been taking away a lot of money through this sector for years.
Every year we have this money budgeted.
I said this
allow this guy to work. Let's see what he has brought. Before now, we said you have brought a barrister to be the minister of power. That is wrong prioritization. Now the president, in his wisdom, searched for and found an engineer.
Yes.
And the engineer is saying, look, there are ways we go about solving this kind of problem.
You must first understand what the problem is.
And here is one thing about the minister is that he's the talking type. He's not keeping quiet. He is one person that is coming up with policies and explaining it. This is what I intend to do.
You know, when I went to Mambila,
I've had interactions
to expose the fact that we didn't do anything at Mambila.
The
minister he spoke to VOA, I think VOA outside
about the
and everything that I said, the minister said it, that there's no work, absolutely no work done in Mambila.
So what we have done,
yes.
That
People will go before the president and lie to the president. We have done this, we have done that. They've not poured, in fact, they've not poured a cup of sand on the site.
And then this is a project that
we heard of Mambila project.
And we will see the money, they will put it in the budget.
We see picture.
But when those pictures,
the pictures are pictures of a different dam. See, Kalambena Dam. It's a beautiful dam. They put the pictures. And you will think people will think it's Mambila
taking shape.
It's Kalambena.
The business.
This is Nigeria.
The Nigerian Business Leaders Forum must not give us reasons to have the impression that they are up to something.
They look like a negative
no,
pressure
it's a
group.
crusade that is not going to help anybody. Okay. If Saleh will fail, let us all see him failing.
And let's give him time.
Yes, allow him to start before you crucify him.
You are saying even the little achievement recorded under Fashola was being eroded.
How? When I have more light, I have more power in my.
I can't remember the last time I put on my generating sets.
Sincerely,
can't remember.
Sincerely, you can now have permutations that they'll soon bring the light and they'll bring.
Yes, I'm not.
Check out weekends.
No, it's happening even in my area now.
Yes, in my place now.
There's more electricity
because I know Jide would have countered me if
yes,
the claim I was making.
If I say that I'm not getting more electricity than before, then I want to offend God.
Oh, so
I'm not saying it's entirely the minister who has done it before they turn me to psychophant. But I'm saying that right now,
things are better now.
I have enjoy more electricity than before.
And I'm even putting it down to the efforts of Fashola, now worked upon by this guy. So let's allow it.
No, the government is a continuum now. So he will continue.
Okay.
He will continue, and hopefully he will do even better than.
All right.
So let's allow him.
I'll take this break now. When we come back, thank you, Dario Dufaokon. Musbah Razak will be joining us to analyze the Under-17 World Cup in Brazil. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Nigeria will have to wait for at least another 2 years before getting a record extending 6th Under-17 World Cup title. Now, the Golden Eaglets, 5-time winners of the tournament, crashed out of the ongoing 2019 Under-17 World Cup in Brazil. No thanks to the 1-3 defeat in the hands of the Netherlands, in what many soccer enthusiasts considered as the country's poorest outing at this level. The Dutch easily outpaced the Nigerian lads to reach the quarterfinals of the tournament. Musbah, I thought that Under-17 is our birthright. What went wrong?
It used to be. It's no more our birthright. The countries are developing their youth system. Why our own is declining. All those you see who played for Netherlands yesterday or this morning, many of them are from PSV and the Oven Academy, Alliance Academy, and the Feyenoord Academy. Their own academies are developing. Our own is declining. So there is no way people won't catch up with us. So in the past, we used to have our own youth football tournament. I remember the youth fund competitions.
Yes.
You have the Manuel Adebayo Cup competition. You have the competition for university, Pepsi Cup,
Felix Egogo
secondary school cup competition, principal cups. So when we have all these programs, we discover talents. Canon Wako was discovered at the school competition in Owerri. And you remember in 1975, CKC of Onitsha won the World Cup for school competition.
1975.
Yeah. that was the year. That was when we were developing our youth football.
Christ
And now
King's College.
we are just we are just doing guerrilla tactics, using underhand tactics to win competition. The world had catch us with us. So there is no way. There is no, like the Yoruba we say, there is no way. There is no two ways to success. You have to prepare and achieve success. We played Netherlands, who are the European champions. We managed to qualify for that competition by coming fourth. And when you see Nigeria play, the Golden Eaglets play throughout that tournament, I know we will lose.
No, we are now discussed after we played our second game, and I said, look, I've never seen Nigeria this poor at that level, because, and I posted it on Twitter that, look, this is that Sebastian Broderick's in Maswen, the coach who took us to the 1985 Under-17 World Cup, and then took us to the next one in 1987. We have people like Peter Ogaba, you know, who are the stars. When you watch his team, you would think it's Brazil playing. Our team always had pattern. Everybody enjoyed watching us. You know? Look at even Pele. When Pele saw Godwin Okpara in action,
and Victor Ikweba,
he said, this guy will be a world beater. Because Godwin Okpara, as the libero of the team, he marshaled the defense so well that Pele hadn't seen anything that good at that level. But look at us, the way we were playing was uncoordinated, the passes were going astray, the boys were selfish, they were not playing as a team. And I'm like, when did we degenerate to this level? If you will beat Nigeria in under-17 tournament in those days, we will beat us because we were unlucky. Because even the 1987, we were the best team, but we were simply unlucky because the boys didn't take their chances.
Yes.
But we would dominate from beginning to the end. We are so good at that level. But what we are seeing now, even Manu Garba, he has won that tournament before.
Yes, sir.
He has never given us a team as bad, as poor as this. So what must have gone wrong? Is it that the NFF no longer even supervises these coaches to know what goes on in those with their teams? Because if Manu Garba was supervised by the technical department of the NFF, if it still exists, then they would not have allowed him to present the kind of team that I took to that tournament.
Is it that we don't have any revelation in this tournament? People that you can look up to the amounts of these other prospects.
In that Nigerian team,
Yes.
There's no standout
there is
player.
no standout player. There is none. I watched them from the start. They were uncoordinated. The defense was so poor that any area ball they are beating. I watched them against Hungary, where they were lucky to win. Even though they won 4-2, they were lucky. I watched them against the other team, Ecuador. Now Australia exposed them entirely. Then the Netherlands. This is the Netherlands team that was beaten by Senegal 3-1 in this same competition. Now look at how they expose us. I know we will lose the moment we start that, because these people who are more coordinated, they have been playing for a long time, and they are young boys.
Is it that they were younger than what we used to have in 1985 during the Coca-Cola FIFA World Cup?
No,
because now we have MRI, they could actually detect those, age cheats and everything. Or is it that these guys were just too young? That they fielded guys with their real age. They were actually under 17.
No,
I
don't know whether
I don't agree with you.
we fielded players who are truly under 17. But that teams look like the youngest that we have ever taken to that tournament. If you see the faces of some of the boys, they were truly very young. The oldest team we ever took to that tournament was the 1985 team.
Yeah.
The 1985 team, Kingsley Ahion-Barre, Lucky Agbonsebafe, the youngest in the 1985 team was Victor Igbinoba. Igbinoba was the youngest.
Like how old?
Igbinoba at that time was truly around 18 or 19.
Who's boy is laughing?
You know, truly around 18 or 19. He was truly young. I saw him physically.
Okay.
Don't Kwara 85 in Ilorin. I saw him physically. You know, but the rest of them, no, you can't say the rest of them.
I know Fatah Atere.
No, don't go into details. Eh?
I know
You see, don't leave Fatah Atere. You know, leave
I know
Fatah Atere.
Belamomo.
Fatah Atere also went to the next one.
You also want to
Went to
know
the next one.
The same one as
playing for Bobby College. For Bobby College.
You
Before
know-
he went for the under 17 in 1985.
You know that
and
the
captain
person.
the 97 team.
You know that we dropped before we went for that tournament. We actually dropped some people that we felt were very old.
Okay.
People like Taiwo Loede. You know, we dropped them from that team.
Okay.
You know, because they were truly big. They were truly big, and watching you feel embarrassed that
Truly
no,
big and
this is supposed to be under 17 now. But the team, that team of 1985 was the oldest. Even the one of the three goalkeepers at that time,
Dele Abubakar.
Dele Abubakar, who came from Kwara. Dele Abubakar had completed a course at Kwara College of Tech.
After secondary school.
And he had completed a course at
College of
Kwara
Technology.
College of Tech before, and he had been playing some junior tournaments. Some of us were familiar with him. But as the years went by, we began to reduce.
That's the age
because-
cheat.
Yes,
because
and
now-
then the MRI thing came too.
Because that was the time, around 87, 88, we were disqualified from participating in youth tournaments for 2 years. The reason was the team we took to the 1987 under 17, under 21. They discovered age discrepancies in the certificates
Dairu
of
Sadi.
Dairu Sadi and Andrew Way. So they discovered.
Uwe.
Yes, Andrew Way. They disqualified us.
We
The
fielded
90s
we fielded a graduate before in another 20 tournament.
The 1987 team were
graduates.
preparing for Chile 87. There was one story that everybody you start laughing when the list for players to be invited was released. The people like Iguavoin, Cerezo,
but they eventually
was invited.
dropped.
Ikechukwu Ofoje was invited.
Yes.
And
Ofoje
that's-
too was dropped then.
there was this guy, Celestin Zekwe, who was not invited, who hoped to be invited. I now realize that why will you not invite me saying I'm too old when Ofoje, who was my senior in secondary school, is invited?
And Ofoje was the captain.
And
of
was the
team.
captain. The man said Ofoje was in Form 5
playing
while
for
he was in Form
Rangers
1.
at that time.
How will I be invited to under 20? And me, Form 1.
Also, what we are saying is that we have, over the years,
I've grown.
But yes,
that
now,
you know, but what we
Great
want
cheats.
to see,
the 1993 under 17 was young. Those invited, those who played the 1993,
just Kano
Kanu
Wanko.
Wanko said they were very young.
Kano Wanko.
Over the years, we started producing younger players.
Okay.
And
So
I think
let's
the younger
project
should
into
What
the
we
future.
want to see is
These
even
are bad
from
rights.
these
How
tournaments.
do we get it back?
From these tournaments, we should be able to say, okay, this guy is a product of under 17 World Cup, solo
Graduates.
year.
Okay.
And then a few years down the line, we'll see him being a world beater. You know?
From National team
Yes,
to
we remember under 20,
21,
where
23.
Messi
Yes,
stopped
they
us
played
from
with
winning.
Mikel Obi.
Messi.
Mikel
Mikel
Obi.
Obi
It's
and
only
Taita
Mikel
Obi.
Obi that we can
Taita
even
Obi.
remember who is still active.
Yes.
Okay.
Who is it like?
Who is still active.
Meanwhile, the Argentine team of that 2005, Messi is still active.
Yes.
Pablo Zabaleta is still
Yeah,
active.
he's in West Ham.
Otamendi is still active. Aguero is still active. And when the Ajiboye set of 2007,
The hair.
in the year is still
Goalkeeper,
active.
the hair of Man U is still
Even
active.
Victor Messi, who played for England, then
You know?
is still active.
But when you look at that,
And,
our team
the
of that
best player of that
2007,
tournament, that 97, that 2007 tournament, is no other than Toni Kroos.
with Toni Kroos.
Toni Kroos of,
Real
so
Madrid.
So when we look at our own
Well, we had
reverse
Chris
case,
Santos.
Crisantus
Santos too was outstanding.
He was
Nigerians-
outstanding, but he's not. He's not
But
active
he's no
now.
longer very.
He's not that young.
So, that's,
so the future of our under 17 gentlemen.
we say it was most has talked about at club level. Clubs should have youth teams, and those youth teams, the NFF should organize tournaments that those youth teams will be playing. Look at in Europe now, the clubs play UEFA Junior tournaments. So you see Man U and all these clubs, they have ready-made, players who are coming through the ranks. Look at who saved. Is it not the young player that saved Chelsea with the ban that they cannot bring in new players? It's those young boys that they produced. So clubs in Nigeria should be encouraged to have youth clubs, and the tournament should be held by NFF for those youth teams. That's what happened abroad.
Solution.
Let's like Jide has said, let's
revive the school sports.
The example of South Africa. They have what is called Discus Challenge. All clubs in the Premier League of South Africa has a youth team, and they play youth league. They call it Discus Challenge. That's when they develop younger players, and we should also develop our academies. Those who play for England won the under-17 for England in the last tournament.
And England won under-20.
Under-20. They have now graduated into the national team. Fikayo Tomori is one of them. Sheyi Ojo playing for Rangers now. Those are our own players. This Hosin Odoi played under-17 for England in the last tournament.
I have to leave it there. Musbah Razak, I'm sure we are going to be seeing you more these days. Talk sports. Our viewers should just watch out for Musbah Razak. It's less busy somehow now. Don't say more than that. And the best for himself, Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Thank you for always being there. And I also want to thank Dario Odufokon, who earlier was in the studio for his own parts. And that's all for Journalist Hangouts. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can also watch us, Journalists on Hangout, on our platforms showing on the screen. We're on youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. You can always watch us on Facebook Live too. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.